Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Ryan Bachu.
I'm Jovan Ravello with sport.
And I'm Jamal Krampasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. 1 week after his dismissal, Dr. Alvin Hilaire initiates legal action against the government for terminating him as central bank governor.
Dozens of displaced CPEP workers and contractors protest outside the company's headquarters, demanding answers on reinstatement and payment.
And on the eve of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Trinidad, education stakeholders oppose early school dismissal, citing exam disruption.
In sport, West Indies men head into second Aussie test, bent on improving in the field.
I'm monitoring 3 tropical waves in the Atlantic. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
1 week after he was fired as central bank governor, Dr. Alvin Hilaire is now legally challenging the government's decision.
Dr. Hilaire confirms to CNC3 News that today his attorneys issued a pre-action protocol letter to the cabinet via the Attorney General and the cabinet secretary over what he describes as his wrongful termination as governor. He says he is hopeful that the matter will be expeditiously settled. Dr. Hilaire, who had been central bank governor since 2015, was replaced by former finance minister Larry Hawaii. The change followed Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessa's revelation of Dr. Hilaire's refusal to divulge information on top users of foreign exchange in this country. The central bank, in response to the Prime Minister's statement, indicated that it is limited in what it can disclose, especially regarding top users of Forex, and is guided by the Central Bank Act in that regard.
Despite assurances that they would be rehired and paid 1 month's salary during a government audit into CPEP contracts, dozens of displaced former CPEP workers and contractors protested today outside the company's headquarters in St. Madeleine.
The group marched to the CPEP building demanding answers from officials on when they would be reinstated. Radhika De Silva and Ivan Tulsi bring us this story.
Former CPEP workers say they remain in limbo following the termination of over 300 contracts due to alleged irregularities. And while they support an audit, they wanted to know when they will be rehired.
Landlord coming by the door. Landlord knocking on your door. You can't afford to pay rent. They put in all your stuff at the side of the road. That is embarrassment. You mad, as you now said, the pending investigation, we will get rehired. We will get rehired. We can't say, landlord, we're going to get rehired. You could wait a month or 2 or 3. How long is that?
And as they sought answers from CPEP officials today, security officers locked the doors on the workers and the media. The former workers called for the audit to be completed quickly and for immediate rehiring ahead of the new school term.
They say that we will be rehired, but when? If they could tell me again 1 month salary, after that 1 month salary, what you'll be telling me again?
I want to know when will we be getting back the CPEP work and how soon and how sure this is for us, because you know it's not affecting me alone, it's affecting right now. You could see how many people it have yet affecting.
Former contractor from 5th Company Maruga, Crevador Piper, admitted to political campaigning prior to receiving his contract, but he maintained the terminations were unfair.
All of us was campaigning for political party.
He warned that legal action could follow if the matter is not resolved. Leader of Government Business Barry Padarath revealed last week that the contracts were terminated because due process was not followed. He says hundreds of contracts were issued before elections without cabinet approval. Radhika De Silva, CNC3 News.
The PNM says it is 1 step closer to filing legal action in the High Court over the retrenchment of 300 CPEP contractors and more than 10,000 workers.
But the process has been temporarily delayed as the government reportedly moved to axe another 4,000 employees from the Forestry Division.
Therese Polo was at Balizé House for this report.
20,000. That's the rough estimate the opposition is saying is now on the breadline, with 4,608 forestry workers now being sent home. Now, this includes employees as well as contractors. Now, at a media conference just a short while ago, we heard from Senator Faris Al-Rawi as well as PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez, and they raised the issue of the firing of CPEP workers and contractors, forestry workers, potential URP workers, and several others. Now, Senator Al-Rawi took aim at Minister Clyde Elder. That's a junior minister who was once the head of the Communication Workers Union, who just yesterday said that CPEP workers were collateral damage. And now he's questioning how it's possible that a union leader could make such a statement that, according to him, would have undermined his entire life work. Now, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez raised some questions about the rehiring of CPEP workers, as was said by Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Barry Padarath. Now, he's saying, or he's questioning rather, whether procurement law will be followed and whether these individuals will also be rehired by different contractors, whether the same employees will now come off the breadline, which they've been put on, to now once again resume employment. Now, interestingly enough, they mentioned that Senior Counsel Larry Lala is among a team of attorneys leading this thrust to defend workers by the People's National Movement, and they are questioning the silence of the trade union movement, pointing out that the OWTU, led by Ansel Roger and several others, have been quiet, save for Michael Anisette, who leads NATUC. Now, in addition, there have been some concerns. While they welcome the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi from India, they're saying, and that's coming from Marvin Gonzalez, that this is simply a political distraction. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm saying that they are very calculated because perhaps the government is fully aware that the Indian head of state was going to be visiting Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time. Of course, it's advance notice. It doesn't happen overnight. And therefore, the timing of this butchering that is taking place with CPEP and in the reforestation program, and the timing of the visit of this head of state could probably be intended to be a political distraction.
Now, the People's National Movement failed to give a definitive answer on when they will be taking their legal action to the High Court, but they are saying it will happen sometime very soon. Doris Polo, CNC3 News, Port of Spain.
Thank you very much, Doris. Now, the Patriotic Front, led by Michaela Pandey, is criticizing government for what it says is the neglect of public servants awaiting wage increases and for the sudden termination of over 10,000 CPEP workers.
In a statement, the party condemned comments by Labray MP and Minister in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Clyde Elder, who referred to the layoffs as collateral damage. The party called the remark heartless, particularly coming from a former union leader. It also pointed out that when CPEP contracts with private contractors end, workers are left without job security or protection, receiving only 1 month's pay. The Patriotic Front argued that the government should have conducted its audits of CPEP operations without abrupt contract terminations that affected families.
Well, as the country prepares to welcome India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow, some parents, teachers and education stakeholders are not pleased with government's decision to disrupt school. Presidents of the Unified Teachers Association and Parent-Teacher Association question whether government considered the fact that schools are currently in examination mode. Schools will be dismissed at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, according to the Education Ministry. The early dismissal will be to minimize traffic congestion along the Churchill-Roosevelt, Uriah Butler and Sir Solomon Hochoy highways, as well as other major roadways. However, Tutor says the early dismissal may not help.
This is the time when we're having end-of-term tests and promotion tests as well too. And it is a disruption and the schools have to make adjustments. We're not too certain that even if dismissing school early will ease up any of the congestion on the nation's road. It may, but I am not certain if it will be as significant.
Tutor says it is also concerned about the results of the secondary entrance assessment examination being released online tomorrow. Lumpkin told CNC3 News there are many parents and students who will be at a disadvantage because of this decision.
We're still concerned about parents who may not have a device or internet access. You know, they would be us disadvantaged because those who have the access to the devices and the relevant internet, they would receive their results way before.
When CNC3 News reached out to Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett, he advised parents without internet access to collect physical SEA results slips at their children's schools on Friday.
Dr. Dowlett also said the school term ends on July 11th, so there's adequate time for schools to facilitate tests that may be disrupted tomorrow. The Education Minister noted students will be allowed to gather along the roadways to witness the arrival of Prime Minister Modi. A second Muslim group is urging government to confront India's religious freedom record during Prime Minister Modi's visit. President of the Islamic Dawah movement wants Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to raise concerns about Muslim discrimination in India during talks with Modi. The group pointed to Modi's government policies, including the 2019 Citizenship Amendment Act. The UN's Human Rights Office called this law fundamentally discriminatory for fast-tracking citizenship to non-Muslim immigrants. The Islamic Dawah movement also cited the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which accuses India of systematic practices against Indian Muslims and spreading hatred towards Islam. It added that addressing this issue would earn Persad-Bissessar respect from the local Muslim community. This follows similar calls from Ashja, which urged frank and respectful talks with Modi about religious freedom and minority rights. Banners welcoming India's Prime Minister to TNT have been placed along the Sir Solomon Hochoy Highway ahead of his arrival tomorrow. Our crews also saw grass being cut along the highway in Couva. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive at 3:45 p.m. tomorrow and depart on Friday. His itinerary includes a diaspora community meeting at the National Cycling Velodrome from 7 p.m. Well, still to come in the news. Police hunt knife welding gang after violent supermarket robbery in Scarborough. Business stakeholders warn of economic emergency as Asakuda's system remains down. Coming up in sport, 12-member team TTO to fly the flag at Group Champs in Managua.
At Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chagonas, we are committed to providing quality products for all major building projects. Let's build together with rebars and beams, VRC coils and mats, RHS and angles, roofing sheets and purlins, lumber, plywood and MDF. Bagwansing's, building homes, building communities, building TNT for over 60 years. Bagwansing's, Port of Spain and Chagonas, building value every day.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is today responding to criticisms leveled against him by Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal.
In a radio interview in St. Vincent, Gonsalves said Dr. Munilal obviously did not hear all he had to say about his anecdotal comment about TNT's currency being likened to monopoly money. At an energy symposium yesterday, Dr. Munilal called the remark unhelpful and accused Gonsalves of remaining silent when the former government mismanaged the economy. Gonsalves said the comment was made as a joke as his farmers, when paid in TT currency, are unable to spend it in St. Vincent. He added that he repeatedly raised the issue of a lack of forex in the past and will continue to do so as his farmers are not willing to trade with the country as a result. He believes the issue will be resolved under this government, having raised the issue with former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley.
I believe Kamla will help to work out the problem too. But I think, well, they're just in office. So the line which I read that he was taking was that, why I didn't raise it before with Rowley. But I did. He probably, so it's two things. He ain't get my whole speech. He get my throwaway line.
The St. Vincent Prime Minister added that as far back as 2018, he raised the issue, and to date, it is yet to be resolved, even after he made intervention with his central bank and called on his country to set aside some $20 million US.
He said he has no issues with Trinbagonians and called on them not to take up the cause of the economic elite in the country over his monopoly comments.
The Tobago House of Assembly has been slapped with a multi-million-dollar court order to pay 13 former contract workers it fired after the 2021 elections.
In a final ruling on Monday, the Industrial Court ordered the THA to pay over $4 million to the former workers, all assigned to the Community Partnership Unit in the Office of the Chief Secretary. The court says the workers' termination was harsh and oppressive and in breach of good industrial relations practices. Compensation ranges from just over $150,000 to nearly $400,000. This covers outstanding leave, remaining contract time, and prorated gratuity. Although the THA filed a notice of appeal last month, the court noted it did not request a stay, meaning the order remains enforceable. After the judgment in May, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine told CNC3 News he was confident the ruling would be overturned on appeal. The full amount must be paid by September 30th. A widow who sued the state after her husband died in an accident has been awarded over $500,000.
The judgment was made in part because a police officer repeatedly failed to attend court hearings. High Court Judge Kevin Ramcharan ordered the compensation on Tuesday. The victim's widow, Maureen Dilchan Maraj, sued after her husband, Rajkumar, died in a head-on collision with a truck in Manzanilla in 2011. The case against the driver was eventually dismissed. Her lawyers, led by senior counsel Anand Ram Logan, argued that she was denied protection of the law. Ramcharan agreed, pointing out that the police officer in her case missed 9 court hearings and never served her a summons to testify. Dilchan Maraj said she was pleased with the outcome after her traumatic experience.
The police and the state and the judge, they all failed me. They all failed my family. Because it's been 14 years this year. Come August. It's a nightmare.
She said her sons were able to thrive educationally, even though there are some lingering health issues because of injuries from the accident. She hopes her legal victory would inspire others to stand up for their rights.
Even though it can't bring back my husband and it can't take away the trauma that we face on a daily life, but it will help other people, and I am willing to go the mile to let people know, don't sit down, stand up for your rights, do what you have to do.
She said senior counsel Ram Logan was instrumental in her pursuing the case, which resulted in her favor.
Police are still searching for a group of men who stormed a supermarket in Scarborough, brutally attacking 3 workers and escaping with hundreds of thousands in cash. Police say the robbery took place around 2 a.m. on Monday at E-Day Supermarket located on Wilson Road in downtown Scarborough. 3 employees, all asleep upstairs, were startled by banging on the door. 7 men armed with knives broke in through a side window. The suspects forced their way into the room and demanded cash, then chopped the workers repeatedly. The victims handed over an estimated $200,000 in TT currency and $15,000 US. The attackers then escaped through a door on the southern side of the building. The injured men were taken for medical treatment and are said to be recovering at home. Well, there's now a permanent police presence in the Scarborough area where the violent robbery took place, but it took a businessman, not the state, to make it happen. The repaired mobile unit is now stationed at the Scarborough port, directly opposite the supermarket where 3 workers were robbed. The area has seen multiple shootings and murders over the past year. The mobile unit remained out of service for years until a member of the business community paid to get it fixed. During the launch today, Senior Superintendent Earl Eli told CNC3 News the unit was deployed to increase visibility and give people a place to make reports since the main station is some distance from the port. However, he said this does not replace the duties and functions of the Scarborough Police Station uptown.
A student was held with a knife as he arrived at his school, Praisal Secondary, yesterday. Security officers were searching students before they entered the compound in central Trinidad around 8:40 a.m. when they discovered the knife in the Form 3 student's pouch. Police were called in and he was arrested and charged, but was released on bail in his mother's care. He is expected to appear in court tomorrow.
In other news, once again, there are concerns from the business community about the efficiency of the Customs and Excise Division as the Customs Border Control System, or ASICUDA, remains down.
Businesses say this is significantly impacting trade. More in tonight's Business Watch from Gisha Kaulesa Alonso.
As frustrations mount over the collapse of the Customs Border Control System, or ASICUDA, the Shogunas Chamber is describing this as a national economic emergency.
Importers, exporters, and custom brokers are unable to process shipments, leaving containers stranded at ports and trade virtually frozen. Damage is growing by the hour. Refrigerated containers carrying perishable goods and bringing in perishable goods are at risk of spoilage.
Apart from this, he says demurrage fees are also putting additional financial burden on businesses. Maharaj says businesses cannot continue to operate in an environment where the entire trade system grinds to a halt with no clear contingency plan.
This is not sustainable. The businesses, us as businessmen, cannot operate in an environment where a single system failure grinds the country trade to a halt. This is damaging in investor confidence.
The Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association also reached out to Business Watch on Wednesday, saying the situation is crippling trade.
The extended disruption of ASICUDA is severely impacting trade facilitation and by extension the nation's economic activity. We have no communication or immediate intervention at this time. Manufacturers have hundreds of containers to export but cannot, and this is resulting in us missing weekly sailing schedules with CMA, Tropical, and Seaboard and other lines.
Parson adds this is adversely affecting the country's forex earnings and the ease of doing business. Businesses are calling on the Ministry of Trade to outline a mitigation plan to address the growing backlog of containers. The ASICUDA system experienced a temporary outage on June 30th due to water leaks at the Customs House in Government Campus Plaza, Port of Spain. The leaks compromised the Customs Border Control System, forcing officials to switch to manual processing, which caused delays in customs services. The system was expected to be fully operational on Monday, however it remains non-functional. The Shogunas Chamber says this shows how unprepared the system is, as there are no proper backups or any recovery protocols. Business Watch also reached out to the Trade Minister, who said he could not comment on the issue at this time. Senior officials at Customs House told Business Watch on Wednesday that the backup system is working, but there are still some glitches. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Gisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
The Customs Clerks and Customs Brokers Association of TNT wants an urgent meeting with government over the ASICUDA issue, which it says severely hinders its ability to perform basic functions. The association says though some manual clearances are being facilitated by certain officers, these are not sufficient to manage the volume and the complexity of national trade activity. It is also critical to note that serious operational challenges with ASICUDA were ongoing even before this most recent incident. The association explains that for more than a month prior to the water leak, the system had been unstable and unreliable.
President of the Route 2 Maxi Taxi Association, Brenton Knight, says since government invalidated all 625 bus route passes, there have been more police and licensing officers along the priority bus route. However, during an interview with CNC3 News today, Knights called for more patrols during the night, noting that they work around the clock.
We see the police presence in terms of enforcement. We also saw a strong presence of licensing also this morning. I think they were there also yesterday. So that is good. We have no issue with the authorities and them doing the law enforcement. At least the presence will be good for us in terms of deterrent. The only other side of that is that we'll see the presence very strong during the day. We like to see the presence also in the night because we are 24-hour service.
Yesterday, Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Eli Zakur said Cabinet has approved 100 new Maxi Taxi priority bus route permits. When asked about this, Knights reserved his comments.
PNM Public Relations Officer Faris Al-Rawi is tonight questioning Cabinet's decision to prematurely rescind the security detail assigned to former Prime Minister Stuart Young.
He says it's unfounded for Cabinet to make a national security decision that effectively instructs the police commissioner to withdraw Young's security. The arrangement was originally set to expire on July 28th, but today we asked members of the public if you agree with the move.
Yes, because he's no longer Prime Minister and he doesn't need that extensive type of security. If he need more security, he comes from a money background. He can pay for it.
Yes, I do agree because he's no longer Prime Minister. So it's just fair that the state doesn't have to pay for a security detail.
No, I don't. He was once the Prime Minister before. And I mean, based on the crime rate and what is going on, his safety is important too, just like everybody else's own.
He should at least have a reduced security detail, but not completely, since even though he wasn't there for all that long, it still would have been in the best interest to still at least have someone keep an eye on him.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Because we already have a Prime Minister. We don't need any more. We doesn't need any more. What are we getting out of it?
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Residents lament crumbling roads and delayed bridge works following Caparo man falling into an uncovered manhole.
Today we had mostly sunny and breezy conditions, and we did get a few showers over southern areas of Trinidad with an isolated thunderstorm near southwestern areas. We have a tropical wave number 12 approaching. I'll let you know what we can expect from it just after the break.
Granola, crunchy, flavorful, bursting with berries, seeds, regal almonds, walnuts, pecans, high in fiber with real orange juice. Get Regal Granola, the perfect snack for your lunchbox.
Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you going to do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive! Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, these countertops nice, well? It's hot.
So, what do you think?
Well, this 100%.
Is it.
I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Caroni or French Street.
Shop Southern Food Basket anniversary specials now. Garlic 1 pound for $9.95. Russet potatoes 5 pounds $17.95. Grill Master Burger patties 2 pounds $49.95. Great Value crinkle cut fries 5 pounds 2 for $59.95. Golden Brand margarine 4 for $19.95. Anchor cheddar cheese 250 grams 2 for $44.95. Richport vegetable oil 500 ml 3 for $19.95. Lucozade Energy 360 ml 3 for $18.95. Chubby 3 cases for $100. Clorox 1 gallon $26.95. Double duty medium garbage bags $17.95. With every $300 you spend at any Southern Food Basket, you can qualify to win a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara. Much more prizes to be won, including Caribbean getaways, staycations, and shopping spree.
Having that family lime at home, that cookout by the river, or you're just feeling to bubble up pot? Then Cans Poultry and Meats Limited has got you covered for all your meaty needs. Whether it be chicken, beef, steak, lamb, or even seafood, check Cans. They even have seasoning and condiments to complement your dish. So if you're looking for top quality meats at prices that wouldn't bust your pocket, then come on in to Cans today at any of their convenient locations.
Welcome back. A man is in hospital with serious facial injuries after falling into an uncovered manhole while riding his bike on the Mamoral-Caparo main road.
Residents of the area want the road repaired. We understand children in Car Trace Caparo walk bare feet through thick mud just to get to school, while residents are stranded and farmers cannot transport their goods. For the people of Car Trace, the situation is more than just poor infrastructure. It has become a crisis. A bridge project, originally scheduled for completion within 3 months, remains unfinished, forcing residents to cross on a narrow makeshift walkway. The surrounding roads, especially during the rainy season, are nearly impassable.
And then the road, when the children had to go to school, the shoes, my white shoe, when they had to walk out in that muddy, when rain falls, it's a terror. It really be muddy. The shoes and things just mess up. They have to take all their shoes and walk in. So, the road and then the road and the bridge, look how long we have to wait for that bridge to finish.
The bridge reconstruction at Car Trace is overseen by the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries. Work began on October 21st, 2024 and was set to finish by January of this year. The contract was awarded to Cathmarie Construction Company. Tensions escalated recently when resident Sivan Sebastian suffered severe injuries after falling into the uncovered manhole. CNC3 News saw officials attempting to fix the area, which the resident complained about. Sebastian is currently undergoing surgery at Mount Hope Hospital.
Whole face was swollen. His 2 eyes were swollen. All here was blood. His nose. Completely, whole face was terrible.
Attempts to contact the contractor were unsuccessful.
Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Minister Ravi Ratiram was unavailable for comment due to ministerial duties overseas.
Well, as people age, taking care of our health can seem to become increasingly complicated. Fortunately for some, many organizations, including church groups and NGOs, host health fairs that could demystify common and uncommon health issues.
On the plus side, you may score a few freebies while taking charge of your health. Soini Gray tells us how.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrand. Get what you need naturally.
2 Sundays ago, members of the San Juan Open Bible Church offered more than just spiritual guidance to its congregation and community when it hosted a health fair at the Furbo Government Primary School in San Juan. According to the church's Women of Worth board members, they hosted the event after consulting with attendants about various medical concerns.
The purpose of it is to reach out to the people and provide medical care, and also lectures that will help them with parenting and mental health, because that's a major thing in society right now. And parenting is also a major issue, and health to come to the people where they can go.
Reaching people where they are is one of the best uses of a health fair. Last Saturday, the Healthy Minds Foundation hosted their health fair at Gulf City Mall. While mental health is their primary concern, they also offered blood pressure monitoring and eye tests because helping people be proactive in the fight to prevent non-communicable diseases is also one of their goals.
Education and awareness of how to prevent developing the NCDs is even more important.
Health fairs can also be a place for people to learn about less well-known issues.
We did also menopause and andropause, which we realize affect a lot of people. And the main part we discover is that husband needs to understand when wife going through menopause, how to cope with, because it could mash up marriages, it could affect marriages.
And while a health fair cannot replace the advice and care of your personal doctor, it can be a good place to learn about something new, get some samples, and reinforce good lifelong habits for the young.
Take them off the screens, take them out of the home, let them take part in sports at an early age so that they can develop those skills.
And not so young.
Know your numbers, know your blood pressure number, know your sugar level and different things. So we want to make people come away of knowing their numbers.
So the next time you see a health fair, stop by. You might learn something new. Soini Gray, CNC3 News.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
John Mark joins us now. Tell us, what are you tracking? And secondly, there's an official visit tomorrow.
Yeah.
What kind of weather can Prime Minister Modi expect?
Well, first of all, there are 3 tropical waves out in the Atlantic. Africa seems to be churning out one every couple of days. And tomorrow in the forecast, initially sunny, but we can expect some rainfall in the afternoon. So first, let's take a look at the satellite. The tropical wave train is going full speed ahead as we have number 12, 13, and 14 out in the Atlantic. Other than that, there's some Saharan dust located between 13 and 14, so we'll be looking out for that increase in dust starting Friday. Zooming into the region, generally fair conditions across the island chain today. Here we can see a band of clouds with some thunderstorms in there associated with tropical wave number 12, which we can expect to reach Tobago tomorrow afternoon, then in Trinidad shortly after during the evening. So the forecast for tonight, mostly fair conditions with just a low chance of the odd shower. Overnight lows of 24 in Trinidad and 25 in Tobago. Now these temperatures won't change much over the next few months. They'll generally fluctuate between 23 and 26 most of the time. Tomorrow we can expect initially sunny conditions with showers developing by the afternoon. 1 or 2 isolated thunderstorms can be expected during the afternoon and evening over both islands. Remember, this moisture is associated with tropical wave 12, and the rainfall activity is expected to intermittently continue overnight. Seas are on the lower end of moderate, with waves in open waters around 1.5 meters and calm to smooth in sheltered areas. Winds are out of the east to east-southeast at 15 knots and gradually decreasing. Looking ahead, tomorrow night's rainfall is expected to spill over into Friday, so we'll have some scattered showers, but only the low chance of a thunderstorm then. But that chance increases on Saturday as we can expect some afternoon thunderstorms. And so far, Sunday and Monday are shaping up to be relatively wet days as well. Now over to the Pacific Ocean, where Hurricane Flossie peaked last night at a Category 3, but has now weakened to a Cat 2, and it is expected to continue this gradual weakening over the next few days, moving northwest out into the Pacific Ocean. And just behind that, there's a disturbance which has a 50% chance of development over the next week. And back on our side of things in the Atlantic, this disturbance near Florida has about a 40% chance over the next week as well. Note that none of these systems pose a threat to Trinidad and Tobago over the period. Now, earlier this week, beachgoers in Portugal were treated to a rare but ominous-looking roll cloud. It's a low horizontal tube-shaped cloud, a bit similar to a shelf cloud which we experience here in Trinidad, but just small differences in their formation and appearance. I'm not sure what you would have done if you were on the beach and you would have seen a cloud like this
Run for my life.
I would get scared.
It is quite ominous.
Some of the beachgoers I was reading even ran away from the beach thinking that it was a tsunami.
It looks like a tsunami. That's the first thing that came to my mind, a tsunami.
But fascinating. Would that happen anywhere in the Caribbean?
It is possible. We do get shelf clouds that are associated with thunderstorms, and the shelf cloud actually has a bit more like a wedge shape rather than a smooth roll shape.
So it can. So you might think it's a tsunami.
And I'll run. Thank you so much, John Mark. Still to come in the news. Over 70 Marabella residents return home after oil spill cleanup.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies like their bones, muscles, joints, brain, heart, and also their immune health. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way because they deserve it.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. A remush, I wanna shop, flag of you. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food Basket, hypermarket, Arima, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
He hit me. Will CG United cover this?
Don't worry. Remember when I was in that competitive arm wrestling circuit? 3-time champion, baby. I did feel bad crushing all those arms. I tangerines. So I took them all out for ice cream, and then we got crushed. Anyway, CG United handled my claims fast.
That explains the arm.
The best cover for the best value. CG United. Good like that.
Life with Guardian Life.
Every sunrise brings a new beginning, a quiet promise that we're never truly alone in life's journey.
So grateful for this precious life. Embrace it with a fearless stride. Dig so deep to turn your dreams to reality. With a bright future on your side. Through every journey you will find what you've earned and accomplished. You now deserve to be. Embrace life with Guardian Life. Only you can pave the road for your legacy. Embrace life with Guardian Life. Every step is one step closer to live easy.
Embrace life with Guardian Life. Life, health insurance, and pension solutions.
Something here for everyone, from baby to adulthood. Anything you need, it is right here at Food Basket Super 99.
Food Basket Super 99, affordable and trendy. Food Basket Super 99 Arima, where fashion meets affordability.
ChatGPT, I'm falling.
Failing grades? Contact Student Hub.
I ain't say failing, I say falling.
Then it's time to stop failing. Student Hub helps students succeed online. If school feels like a free fall, Student Hub helps you land on top.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
Presenting the most modern pharmaceutical facility in the country, Food Basket Hyperfarm Pharmacy Food Basket Complex Arima. We stock the widest range of health and beauty products, baby supplies, stationery, fragrances and cosmetics. Our organic, sugar and gluten-free products cater to vegans and the health conscious. A wide assortment of dispensary medication and over-the-counter items at the most affordable prices. Make Hyperfarm Pharmacy your choice. Located on the compound of Food Basket Complex Arima.
Welcome back. More than 70 residents of Bayshore Marabella are back home after being evacuated following last Friday's hydrocarbon leak.
When CNC3 News visited the area today, there was no work being done and no equipment on site, and not much oil deposits left. The river appeared to be clean. Initially, 57 residents were temporarily relocated to the Royal Hotel, but that number subsequently increased on Tuesday. They received the all clear from officials from the Heritage Petroleum Company Limited to return to their homes. While there is a faint scent, residents say they are satisfied with the work done. Heritage confirmed that cleanup activities were completed and site restoration work is nearing completion.
The company also assured assessments show that air quality is within acceptable standards, but they will continue to monitor the impacted area and support the affected residents. A 12-inch trunk pipeline at Aruba had ruptured, spilling gallons of oil into the river course. Well, Jassy Marique is on vacation, so we leave you in the capable hands of Jovan for sport.
Thanks, Ria. Coming up in sport, we hear the latest from Coach Theobald ahead of the CONCACAF Under-15 Championship. And Shay's got a brand new bag. We have details on his new deal when sport returns after the break.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket. Bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. place you want us, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
At Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center, we're all about time. In fact, once you check in, there's no time to lose. Reconnect with a little family time. Make a splash with some pool time. Spend some treasured quality time. Or just immerse yourself in some quiet time. Indulge your senses at dinner time. We even have the perfect venue when it's your celebration time. So it's high time you visit Cruise Inn. Choose our day pass or call 607-4000 to make your dinner or hotel reservations or to find out more about our event spaces. Take a time out at Cruise Inn Hotel and Yachting Center.
Don't forget, we are Food Basket Superstore right here in Arima. Come see for yourself. From stationeries to household items and so much more. Right here at Food Basket Superstore in Arima.
I really love the variety. There's something for everyone here.
Sheikleisha Limited, the Caribbean's largest manufacturers of plain and printed paper bags, leaders in plastic bags, vermicelli, split piece powder, and greaseproof paper, ideal for doubles, french fries, and sandwiches. Supplying stores nationwide. For quality products, trust Sheikleisha Limited, 665-3336.
Presenting the most modern pharmaceutical facility in the country, Food Basket Hyperfarm Pharmacy Food Basket Complex, Arima. We stock the widest range of health and beauty products, baby supplies, stationery, fragrances, and cosmetics. Our organic, sugar, and gluten-free products cater to vegans and the health conscious. A wide assortment of dispensary medication and over-the-counter items at the most affordable prices. Make Hyperfarm Pharmacy your choice. Located on the compound of Food